Hello everyone, I'm Marlisa, Stitchy Noir here on YouTube and also on Instagram, and welcome to my channel all about cross stitch and happy holidays, Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah. This is Flosstube number 8, amazingly, and I know there's a lot of holiday Flosstube out there right now, a lot of Stitchmas videos and so forth, so I really appreciate your watching, spending some time with me today, and we'll get right into it. I have some things to show you, not a huge amount, but some Christmas stitching. And I am unfortunately having to share with you that I have no finishes, no FFOs at all, which is unusual for me. Something happened after Thanksgiving, and it seems to happen after every Thanksgiving, is I really want to get gung-ho into the holiday stitching, and I do. I have been stitching on purely just basically 2-3 projects since I last saw you, and yet I just haven't been able to finish anything. So but anyway, we'll go over all that. So my first whip, I have a few whips to show you, a couple whips. My first whip is Christmas Parade by Cottage Garden Samplings, and here is that. And this one is on 16 count Touch of Gray Ada, just by Witchelt. 182 by 218 is the stitch count. And this was a whip when I started it when I picked it back up rather this season. I started it last holiday season. All I had was Santa. That was it. I mean, I didn't have anything at all left. I just wanted to get Santa done, and Santa was, formidable. He's got quite a bit going on there. So I have been working on all of this, and I absolutely just love the animals. I love how they've got their little, heads held high as they're following Santa in the parade. And look at that deer. Oh my gosh. So beautiful, so cute. And so let me show you what the pattern looks like. I'm sure many of you have seen this and maybe have done this yourself. So there's a lot of stuff going on in the background, and I knew that I was not going to do all of the letters. I'm not necessarily a huge sampler stitcher, so I thought, okay, I really love Santa and the animals, but I didn't know what else I was going to do. So I finished just Santa and the animals, and I'm like, can I just stop there? And I was hoping to just stop there, except that it just looked kind of empty all around. It just was like there was like nothing else there. So I thought, okay, I'll do the border on the bottom. So I did the border. And I'm like, okay, it's not enough. It didn't really seem like it was enough. So then I had to make some decisions, right? So I did do the top border. Top border is done. I really do love the pink and the white and how it looks. And then I thought, okay, maybe I'll just do a heart or two. So what I've done here, as you can see, I've got this heart and this heart done. And I'm thinking, can I stop there? This is a game of can I stop, right? Where can I stop on this pattern? And I don't think I can stop there though, because it still looks really empty in the middle. Maybe if I had just stopped with the top border, I could have gotten away with it, but I don't even know if it would just look like, since there's no border on the right and left side, would it look like it was just hanging in space? So I think I am going to have to do those final 2 hearts, which are here and here, and then call it quits after that. And I think that should be fine. So this was almost a finish. I was hoping to be able to show it to you as a finish today, but no, it just needed some more. But it will definitely be a finish this season for sure. So we'll see. I just love it so much. I just think it's so adorable, and so I'm enjoying it. But I would not have enjoyed doing all the lettering in the background and all of that. So, and I think it looks a little bit, I don't know, I think for me, for my personal taste, I think it was a little bit too much in the background. The motifs are very cute, the little snowman and the church and all that, but but I think the heart, the main big, you know, pink heart should be enough. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. Okay. And so the other whip that I worked on, although, you know, albeit not a lot, was Santa on the Roof. And as you guys know who have been watching my channel, I don't use a Q-snap or hoop. I stitch in hand most of the time. I don't know, on this one the fabric was just being so uncooperative, and I just put it in an urge, which you know, these are good because they're lightweight for me and they don't hurt my hand holding. So that's what I've got on that. This pattern is by Stitchy Princess. It's 83 by 83. And let me just pause here and I can show you what the actual pattern looks like. Bear with me. This designer, if you don't know, Katerina from Stitchy Princess, who calls her, that's her name of her shop, and she's from the Ukraine. She's had a lot of you know, of hardship with the war, and I think that that it's nice to be able to, you know, support designers who are, you know, having a little bit of a tough time there. So I'm sorry about the ring glare, but that is what the final version will look like. And you can see what's interesting about this pattern is that a lot of the colors are not traditional Christmas stitching colors. You know, there's orange and yellow and, you know, kind of primary colors really in this design. This is on just like a 10 by 10 silk weaver solo that I had gotten from a Facebook sale quite a long time ago. But the gray I think works really nicely. She did it on like the model's on like a bluish purple, but it's and I have another Christmas design that I finished of hers with two Slavic snow people, and it's really adorable. And that is all. I did that on the background that looks like that, the fabric that looks like that. But this is what I thought would be nice with this. So that's Santa on the Roof. I've been working on this for like 2 years. I don't know why I just can't finish it. It's one of those things. It's a good car stitch, and maybe not in the car as much this time of year where I'm a passenger. So, but you know, I don't know. I'm not necessarily thinking this is going to be done, although I would like it to be this season. So, you know, we'll see. So those are my 2 whips. Now, next, let me show you my starts and almost starts, which, you know, is I realize that that's, you know, not exactly just bear with me 1 second so I can find my notes again. So, you know, saying almost starts is not exactly some, you know, wonderful wonderful achievement here, because it's like the things that I intended to do but have, you know, kind of failed at. But my one legitimate start, my one bona fide start here, is Santa Claus is Coming to Town by Autumn Lane Stitchery. And here's what I've got so far. And this is on 16 count Navy Aida. It's 100 by 100 stitches. And, you know, I'll show you the pattern picture. I'm telling you, when I bought this, and, you know, duh, right? I mean, we know what stitch count means. And I've been stitching for, you know, a couple of over 2 decades. But for some, it never ceases to happen that sometimes you look at a picture and you think, wow, that's going to be big, or that's going to be small, or whatever, even though your brain looks at and can read the stitch count. So I saw this and I'm like, oh, that's going to be sizable. That's going to be a nice, you know, whatever. And I've seen other people do this design and it looks so good finished. And I'm like, okay. So I cut my fabric, and then I get, and I'm thinking, is this, it's so small, it's small, you know? Like, I kept checking my stitches, I kept counting it to the, and this is the border. I mean, it's definitely going to fit with a, 2 to 3 inch around it. But it just, I mean, I'm kind of glad sometimes space restrictions, you're like, how can I fit these things in my house? But, it really pops on that fabric. I just love the ombre in the lettering. Santa's face there. And so I think it's going to be really, really cute. I'll probably look to frame it in a white frame, something like that. Looking forward to getting Santa's body, and then of course the big list and the town there. And the interesting thing also about this pattern is there's an alternate, which if you know Autumn Lane Stitchery, often Aaron, the designer, he will do options, like choose your own adventure. If you did, for instance, the Dark Queen of the Earth, the woodland pattern that was a few years ago, that epic stitch along, which I still have not finished that. I mean, I'll just have to do the back stitch and the beading, but still a whip for me. He had multiple options for face, for different parts of the body. And in this, it's not that drastic, but you can see, so there's a different option to do. See this little Santa's sleigh here. You've got Santa and the reindeer here. He has 2 different charting options. You can put the reindeer in the sleigh here and the snowflakes down here. If you want, if you didn't like this, you could put the snowflakes in both places. I mean, it's nice to have those options. And I'm honestly not sure which I'm going to do yet, which is why I just haven't put that in yet. It's kind of empty there at this moment. So I'm going to see how I feel. I may just do it as it's charted because it is super cute. So, yeah. So since this is only 100 by 100, it's going to be a modest size, but a lot of stitching, packed in there. And really pretty coloring, I think. So that's Santa Claus is coming to town. All right, now let me tell you what I wanted to start and just haven't yet, sadly. So here's my first almost start, and it is Silver Creek Samplers Give Greatly. And it says, your greatness is not in what you have, but what you give. And I've done a few Silver Creek already. I love her font and for her lettering. It's beautiful. And this sweet little snowman and rabbit. Just love that one. So that is 115 by 96 stitch count. It's all kitted up. I have the floss all ready to go. I have a piece of vintage country mocha 16 count, which is what this calls for, and I think it'll look nice on that. I do a lot of winter stitching on gray. Honestly, I do a lot of stitching on gray, period. I kind of gravitate to that. This one I don't think would have looked as good on that because of the gray and the rabbit and the other tones. I didn't really have and I thought maybe blue, but I just went with the called for, and I think it's going to be nice. So it's all ready to go. I have to iron this and cut it. I'm going to cut it down a little bit, but yeah, just couldn't get it. So I'm hopefully thinking maybe this weekend I can get that started. And then that will be a start that will go a whip to go into next year. Now, the other almost start, which I really wanted to do for a while, is Dancer from Barbara Anner. Okay, so this one is 79 by 92. And I have seen a lot of people stitching this. Sarah from Sarah's Stitchy Spot has a finish with a beautiful red hoop in her last video. Was behind her, was just gorgeous, and I really am thinking of doing something similar when I can get this done. Bonnie from Unfinished Stitches is working on this also right now. And so my problem is this is done. I really liked the cold, even though I didn't realize this was the fabric and not stitching. I really liked the white, you know, sort of spots like snow on this. And the called for fabric is a Murano basalt splash. But it's Murano, it's like 32 count. And I'm like, well, can I get this in Aida? Because that's all I stitch on. And I could not. The closest I could get was a 25 count Lugana, which would make it really small. And you know what, I would, you know, just do the thing and put it probably in a nerd hoop, and or I do own a Q-snap and I could do it. But really it was less that I'd have to bear with the tininess of the 25 count. Then it would be smaller than I wanted. It's not that big, and I just wanted it to show, I wanted to show up a little bit more. So right now I have no fabric for this, and I've looked. I'm going to take a trip to my L&S, the cross stitch cupboard, maybe tomorrow. I can see what, you know, what they have there. I've looked on 1-2-3 Stitch. I just can't seem to find the right, even if I can't get the, you know, the splash effect, I can't seem to find like a blue gray that looks like it would be the right one. So if you can suggest an Aida for me to do this on, a color that you've either used or that you think would work, please drop it in the comments. I'd like some help here because I really want to start this. I wanted to start this season, and now I'm kind of frozen up, looking for the right fabric for this. You know, I think the shade here is going to be very important. So any suggestions that you have would be greatly appreciated. So anyway, I'd like to start this also this season. And again, it may not get finished, but to have for something to start, you know, a whip ready to go for next year. I had kitted up 2 projects at the end of last season also that I didn't start. And I just didn't feel like working on them this time. I don't know why. I was really gung-ho about them. One was the Counting Puddles, which the name escapes me. I didn't look them up. The Counting Puddles Santa, beautiful with the sleigh and the trail of star snow in the sky. Didn't feel like it. Maybe because I'd been working on a Thanksgiving Counting Puddles, and I just was looking for something different. And then I had also kitted up a Madame Chantilly Christmas picnic, I think was the name of it. And it's got polar bear and animals having a picnic and whatnot. So, and maybe I wasn't in the mood so much for that. I don't know. So I kind of like to get these 2 started and have them go into whips and not kit anything up this year otherwise, so that I don't run into that, you know, mood problem next time. So we'll see. So that's all I've got in terms of what I've been stitching on and or prepping this month since I last saw you. I have a couple of previous Christmas finishes that I wanted to share with you, things that I really love and that you might like to see. So the first one is this is Christmas Carol Sampler by Primitive Hare. And this is on 18 count Midas Touch Silk Weaver. I don't have the stitch count on this, but you know, it's a decent size. I'd say it's at least probably, I don't know, it's bigger than an 8x10, could be a 9x12, 11x14, perhaps even. And this is finished as a stand-up. And this was done beautifully by the Cross Stitch Cupboard a couple years ago now, I think. But this is just beautiful how they did this. And I'm, as I think I've mentioned maybe in another video, I don't know, I'm a huge Christmas Carol fan. Seen not all, but a lot of Christmas Carol movie versions. I teach the story when I do my literature and film adaptation class. So I just love all things Christmas Carol, and just thought I love the colors of the grays on the gold, on the sort of parchment sort of aged look of the fabric, and all the little details and motifs. And if you can't read the bottom, it's a little bit small. It's got Tiny Tim Cratchit and Ebenezer Scrooge, Christmas Carol by Charles Dickens. That's what the bottom says there. So love this. This is one of my very favorite finishes that I have. And the other one is Souris Noel by TraLaLa. And that's this, Souris Noel, translated means Christmas mice. And this is 14 count black Aida, I think. 14, maybe? I think it's 14. Yeah, 14 or 16. Now the model of this was done on a, can't remember, but it was a beige neutral. Maybe, I mean, I can't remember exactly what the color was, but it was not the black. And I tried to put it on a gray and didn't like it. It wasn't really working that well. And then at the cross stitch cupboard, I saw that the Stitching Steward, who you may know his work, he had some pieces up for display there at the shop, and he had all of these Christmas designs on black, and I'm like, wow. You know, I never really thought of that, again, having stitching for a lot of years, but never really thought about putting, I mean, black, I do a lot of black stitching for Halloween, and I've done for other things, but not for Christmas. I'm like, wow. So I said, maybe I'll try that on black, and it just turned out to be such a good choice, I think, with these colors. And then I became a black Christmas stitching convert, and I've done other things on black. So this worked out really nicely. I framed this one myself, and I just love all the little details and the little sugar plum dessert there and the candy canes. But the greens and the whites and the reds look, I think, really nice on the black. So so if you haven't tried that, that might be something you would be interested in trying. Okay, so that's it for actual stitching. Excuse me, in terms of acquisitions, I bought some things at the Jingle Ball. If you went to the Jingle Ball, I'm sure, you know, I'm not alone in that. This year, most of my money went to Tiny Modernist because I just couldn't resist the patterns. So I'm not going to, they're all in the images are on my iPad, and so, but I mean, I can try to tell you what I remember that I bought. I bought the exclusive Jingle Ball Santa pattern. I bought the Scandi Animals, if any of you bought that, which are really cute. I bought last year's Christmas exclusive, the Jingle All the Way, and many people have stitched that, so I'm looking forward to that. She also had a freebie that I picked up that was really, it's like a Christmas wreath. So anyway, if you went to Jingle Ball and bought some things, tell me what you bought, what you liked. There were so many good things this year, and as usual, I didn't participate as much as I'd hoped or I thought I would. I did participate. I didn't do any classes, but I was popping around, you know, in some of the stitching rooms and watched the videos, and of course went to the shopping hall and watched the entertainment video, and it was just lovely as always. So if you haven't done Jingle Ball, really for a nominal cost, the ticket gives you access to so many things, and all the optional cost classes are wonderful too. Lindy Stitches puts this on every year, and she's doing right now, I think, quarterly virtual retreats for the season. So definitely check out her retreats if you haven't done that. And those are all my acquisitions. I have had a lot of luck lately at Stitch Me's Friday Night Fight Nights, and I think I need to be a little more careful about what I'm doing there, because I probably don't need any more fabric right now. And so, but I have some acquisitions there coming in the mail, which I'll show next time. What else? Okay, plans. I am not sure if I'm going to do a whip parade. I did a mid-year whip parade, so I'm going to sort of see where I am with my whips. If I do, it'll be in January, once I sort of know exactly how many whips I have going into 2026. I don't know yet what my new year, new start is going to be. I'm trying to mull that over as well and see what I'm going to be in the mood for. I'm a little bit tempted to do the Elegant Lace Stitch Along that's being hosted by Sunshine Stitchers. And I have an idea of what I might do for it. It's not the kind of pattern that generally I would be, attracted to, but it's kind of, I don't know, it's calling my name. It's really interesting. So if you don't know about that, check out the Sunshine Stitchers Facebook group and Sunshine Stitchers, of course, on YouTube for more info about that. I have some gift stitching on my plate as well that I need to be taking care of. So that's going to be in my January, February plans. And then we'll see what happens. I don't tend to plan. I don't have a planner because I don't have like a huge number of whips to choose from. I usually will go into the new year with 20, maybe 20 whips. And so, but it might be helpful to me, I think, to plan a little bit more, to be a little bit more deliberate about my starts, when I want to start certain things, so that I don't let things kind of fall by the wayside or forget about them. So I'll see maybe about being a little bit more planful about my stitching in 2026. We'll see. So that's what's going on. Now, finally, the movie. So I have a Christmas film noir for you. It's called Christmas Holiday from 1944. It is starring Gene Kelly and Deanna Durbin, and that it's not a musical. So you hear Gene Kelly, those of you who know his work, not a musical, far from it. Gene Kelly had a few dramatic roles that did not involve singing or dancing, which of course he was incredibly talented in as a singer, dancer, choreographer, director. But he was a very good dramatic actor. He was really good in Inherit the Wind as the journalist, if you've seen that film. This is one of these also dramatic roles, and particularly unexpected because he's kind of a jerk. He's like the worst husband ever. He's like he's a little bit mentally unstable in the movie, and it's based on a novel by Somerset Maugham. It is not really a Christmas movie. Exactly. I mean, it happens to take place on Christmas Eve in flashback. It's set in New Orleans. And you've got a woman telling her story to, I believe, if I remember correctly, a sailor or a soldier in a bar, telling her sad story about her life. And so it's not Christmassy, but it is on Christmas, and it's called Christmas Holiday. So that's what I've got. I mean, there's not a lot of Christmas film noirs out there. It's directed by Robert Siodmak, who's one of my favorite noir directors. He did some amazing films, notably The Killers with Burt Lancaster and Ava Gardner, and many, many others. And he happened to do this one as well. So it's very well done. You can expect to have a well done film here. Again, not overly long. It's on YouTube for free. I'll link it below for you. So anyway, check that out if you're interested in a Christmas film noir. That's not always seen, I think, or thought of. And also, I'll leave you with another thought. I would say probably my favorite Christmas movie is It's a Wonderful Life, which you can say, well, that's a heartwarming movie. It's a typical Christmas movie, and that's true. It is heartwarming, and it is something that is very well known, but it's dark. And I'm not the only one to have said this, but it's really, if you want to actually feel like it's a Christmas noir, whereas the whole movie is about Christmas and more. But it is dark. There's a lot of the subject matter is about disappointment and trauma and honestly, I mean, and trigger warning, and suicide, about a suicide attempt. George Bailey, played by Jimmy Stewart, gets caught up in a potential financial just scandal and tragedy with his business, and he feels like his life has not been worth living, and he is stopped from suicide by a guardian angel who tries to show him how his life has been really meaningful. And so it's a wonderful message, but there, I mean, and the cinematography, some of the close-ups of Stuart's face and the music, I mean, it's and and like many noirs, it has a happy ending, but it's hard to forget the other parts of it that are kind of dark. So you know, it was from 1946. Jimmy Stewart, as you may know, served in World War II. He was a pilot. He went through a lot of stuff, and this was the first movie he made after the war. And some have speculated that some of his own likely PTSD after the war, you really sort of see that as he's transitioning back into being an actor, and that it's that's part of the mood of the film. So if you have seen it, take another look at it. If you haven't, you know, thought of it in this way, and if you haven't seen it, I'd definitely check it out. It's everywhere. If you have any kind of television, cable, dish, or anything like that, or any other, I mean, it's not hard to find. So it's sometimes too easy to find over the holidays, so I'm sure you'll be able to find it if you want. So that's all I've got for you for today. Hope you have a wonderful holiday filled with love and joy and all the things that you want and hope for. And Happy New Year. I will see you in January for another update. Be brave, be strong, be true, be well, and I'll look forward to seeing you next time.